Time to stand up and get going. Welcome to Sun Trippin. I'm Christina, and this is the Scenic Discomfort Tour. We're getting ready to go on my 7th cross-country adventure. We're going to go through 27 states on this trip, so I am so jazzed about this. We're going to go from Florida up to Maine, and then we're going to go from Maine, skipping across the top of the United States over to Washington, and then down into Oregon. So today we're going to continue working on getting the 4Runner prepped and ready to go. I really want to make sure that the inside, outside, top to bottom, everything is checked, rechecked. I really need this ready to go and as clean as possible because this is going to be a long trip. Let's go ahead and get on with this. I have my tent that weighs about 50 pounds wrapped in camo up on top of my rig. And I use the camo wrap as part of my safety system. I kind of makes it more like it's probably a guy that drives the rig. I don't put anything else on my rig to make it look like a gal might be driving it. And I've never really been somebody that puts like stickers or any kind of crap like that on my vehicles. It just drives me crazy. I get a kick out of them when I see other people do it. I just don't want it on my own rig. But I do that as a deterrent, and it does work. I've observed the behavior, so I know for a fact that works. So just a little side note on that. Some people, washing your car is a very curious thing, and you don't want to assume what people know. I didn't really understand why you would wax your car or spend that much time on your car until I ruined a good paint job on one of my cars, one of my first cars. Didn't understand what it was. Kind of like sunroofs, and understanding that there's drain holes in your sunroof and that you should actually go through, clean your tracks, oil your tracks, use WD-40 or a garage door spray on your tracks is really good to do. Those little holes that are on either side of your sunroof, at least once a year, maybe twice a year, especially after fall, get up there and really clean that out, run water down the tubing, and make sure that it goes all the way down. The tubing actually runs from those little holes down along your windshield, and then down to the bottom of your car. So when you go through and squeeze water down those holes, check underneath to make sure that the water has drained properly. If it hasn't, then go ahead and get something down there that you can kind of snake down there and clean that tube out. Otherwise, like I also learned in a previous car, you can end up with water damage inside your car. Yes, that's a thing. So, anywho, that's, the little things that maybe you don't know. That you learn the hard way. It's not, I don't promote product yet. I probably will, because we all need money, right? But I'm not heavy on that. That's not my focus of this channel. I'm going to share product that I use that I like. So there's just not going to be a lot of stuff on here. So, mechanical guys, my son recommended it. He loves it. He's a car nut. So, I started using it. I really do like it. It works really well. And I do like to get a hand-done wax job on my vehicle, generally twice a year, at the very, very minimum once a year. Don't go longer than that without waxing your car, but I'll generally do it twice a year. Do a hand job, and then I'll go through periodically and I'll do a good wash, and then you can also do a light wax, and there's another way that you can take care of that. Otherwise, I'm just going to wash the car in the background, and you can have some people listen to audio and some people like to watch things. Let's talk about the adventure. So we're getting ready to do 27 states. We're going to go from Florida up to Maine, and then we're going to go from Maine over to Washington and then down into Oregon. I'm going to skip across the top of the United States, so I'm going to be hugging super close to the Canadian border. We're going to do the Great Lakes. We're going to come up, hug up against the Canadian border through Montana, Idaho. We're going to stay as far north as we really can. I've not been through a lot of the eastern seaboard. I've been here, I've been there, that sort of thing. There will be some redundancy for me with some of these states, so this will be my 7th time across. But a lot of these states up in this northeast area, brand new to me, as far as like, I've been in like some of the big cities and that sort of thing, but I've really not done a lot of exploring up in that area, so I am really excited about that. My travels, I do stay off the main roads. I stay off the main highways. I do like to take the alternate highways and the back roads. You see much more of the country. You see a lot more of the flavor of the country when you get off of the main roads. Sure, you can like travel across the United States really fast, stay on the main highways. The problem is you're just going to see trucks, truck stops, gas stations, Cracker Barrel. Like, how many Cracker Barrels can we honestly stand to eat at? I avoid them. The food's... Anyway, I'm not a Cracker Barrel sort of gal. And it's just all box stores. One box store after another, and all of these chain restaurants and this kind of crap. When you get off of those, when you go get a real flavor for the United States, see some really cool stuff. So I have my GPS set so that no tolls, no toll roads. So we will actually have a couple of tolls, but it's only situations where you can't help it. You have to take that toll, such as a bridge, so stuff like that. Anywho, so we stay off the beaten path. I am not going to talk too much about, oh, you need to buy this pass and that pass for a national park, that kind of stuff. I'm not getting into that. I'm also not focusing on where I'm staying. I'm really about the adventure. So yeah, I love camping. I love the adventure that camping brings, the proximity that it brings, not sitting in camp itself. So yes, do I take breaks? That's what the tent's for. That's my portable living room. I don't sleep in my tent. I have it set up. There's a little sofa, a little coffee table, this sort of thing. It's my living room when I'm on the road. And I bring it out if I'm going to stay more than a night. So two nights or more, then I'll bring the living room down. Set it up, relax for a little bit, just kind of regroup. Otherwise, I like to relax in the evening. I'm up and moving. That is the point. And sometimes I'm up in the middle of the night, depending on where I'm at. National parks, I love driving around national parks at night. Back roads, I just, yeah. So about the adventure. I will be going through a couple of the larger cities, so I'll be stopping and visiting friends and family in New York and Boston. I'm not focusing on the big cities on this, so while I'll be going and having those experiences, I'm not going to be sharing those on this channel. That's not what this adventure's about. We're going to see a lot of cool stuff, a lot of stuff off the beaten path. I take detours. I do U-turns. Something catches my eye. Yeah, we're going to go find out what that's about. Also, I do things loosely as well. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. If I'm going out and I'm exploring a new area that I haven't been to, I will do some research. I like this. I like, this adventure, or this looks really cool, or, whatever it may be. So points of interest. And then I might go, on this day it might be, here's a short list of things that we might want to go do. Whether or not we do everything on that list, it happens in the moment. Sometimes something that seemed like it was really cool might be closed for renovation, whatever the case may be. Wrong time, wrong day, whatever. When we finally get there, It just might not be feasible. And in some instances, might have really wanted to go. Do I want to wait until they're open again or that it's available again? Do I want to hang around in the area long enough to make that happen? In some cases, yes, and in some cases, no. So it depends. We're also going to focus on, this is really transitions. The Scenic Discomfort Tour it has some really fun, interesting, very cool things. It's also going to have some really fucked up shit in it too. This is the United States. We have everything, as most of you are well aware, to some degree or another anyway. We are going to have some uncomfortable things that we talk about. We're going to have some uncomfortable things at a personal level, as a group level, societal level, national level, and international level to talk about. We're going to talk about not just transitions, but we're going to talk about trends as well. I do have some stats that I'm going to be sharing. I've already done the research on some of that. There's some things that, it's good to know where you've been, where you're at, so that you can really understand how to alter the course in a more favorable direction. So we're going to touch on a lot of that stuff too. We are going to look at things from just an internal view. We're going to look at this from the aspect of we are all individual human beings that have these beautiful spirits inside of us that we all travel with, and that we all experience the human condition and all of the beauty with it, and a lot of the horrors that we can experience through this life that we have. We're going to talk about, and the reason I'm even phrasing it this way, I really want to back up and not get into men's issues or women's issues or children's issues or political issues. I really want to look at this experience that we all have from a human point of view, because I think we get so far away from that nowadays. Everybody's in a box, everybody's in a category. You're either a lefty or a righty, or whatever the case may be. Let's do less of that. Let's do more of, how am I functioning as a human? How am I feeding the spirit that I have? How are we doing? How am I doing? How are you doing? And I think if we kind of break that down, and as individual humans, how we take care of ourselves internally radiates outward. So if we are not thriving, if we are not aware of choices that we're making, the transitions in our lives that those choices make along the way, sometimes it feels like we're making a choice, but are we really aware that that was actually a choice? Or was it something that was placed in front of us with a societal expectation to make us think that it was a choice? So these are things that we are going to discuss. Sometimes we get into a spot where, how in the hell did I get here? And when you're able, especially as you get older, how you're able to kind of look back on things and, oh, well, that happened because this, and this. So, and it might have been a series of choices, but were you conscious of the choices that you were making at the time? And society does a good job of jumping back and saying, you made that choice, but did you? But did you? Or was that something that society tossed on you as an expectation? So you can kind of understand with that why I remove the male-female aspect of that. As a human being, making choices and being aware of bigger pictures or trends or patterns, that we become aware of that we are actually in the process of making a choice. And that choice is going to bring a transition. And do we like the direction that transition is taking us? So that's part of it. We're also going to talk about, some heroes, some trendsetters. And I'm not talking about trendsetters like freaking Kardashians. They are trendsetters. I'm going to argue for not the positive. Yeah. We're going to talk about trendsetters that did something in their community, that did something for society, that have contributed quite a bit. And I'm going to talk about trendsetters in the sense of people that make an impact on their family, their communities, society as a whole, whether it's just in their town or maybe in their state or maybe nationally. So we're going to talk about some of that stuff. Let's see, anything else? Just kind of getting a feel as I kind of move along, like what this is going to look like, what it feels like. I'm pretty clear on the topics that I want to focus on, or those aspects that I want to focus on. I'm just not entirely clear how I'm clarifying my message yet. So bear with me with that as I kind of work through this process. She's doing a pretty good job cleaning up, getting that wax job done. She's almost there. I wish I could honestly work that fast. I'd be so excited. The amount of shit that I could get done in a day, right? Yeah. So we're going to get done with this. We are just about done with this video, and we're going to start on the inside next. So that's going to be the next video. So check that out. You're going to see how I have the inside set up. And I'll kind of touch a little bit on safety features and that sort of thing as well. And then how we function inside of there. And I think that's kind of it for right now. We're getting so close to taking off that oh my gosh, the building excitement is, oh man. Sometimes I am almost vibrating. I'm so freaking excited about this adventure. And we really are taking off like soon, really soon. So that's it for now. Go ahead and check out the next video, and I look forward to seeing you soon.